full script with markers. Must be 1,200 plus words. Midnight hook. 3 months ago, Detective Sarah Johnson had no idea that a coffee cup would change her life forever. This isn't just any coffee cup. It held the key to unlocking a 30-year-old cold case that had haunted the small town of Millbrook since 1996. 30 section name. In the early hours of March 15, 1996, the body of 22-year-old Emily Carter was found in an alley behind a local diner. The cause of death was determined to be blunt force trauma, but there were no witnesses, and the crime scene yielded minimal evidence. The police were baffled, and the case quickly went cold. For years, the community mourned Emily, and her family lived in constant pain, knowing that her killer walked free. 1 o'clock, new development. Fast forward to 2026, and the case seemed destined to remain unsolved. But then, a routine clean out of the evidence room revealed a forgotten piece of evidence, a coffee cup that Emily had been holding when she was attacked. The cup had been overlooked for decades, but modern forensic techniques offered new hope. 1:30 new development. Detective Johnson decided to run a DNA analysis on the cup, hoping against hope that it might yield some clues. The lab results came back with a match, a man named Michael Reeves, who had a history of violent crimes, but had never been linked to Emily's murder. The news sent shockwaves through the department. Could they finally solve the case? 2 o'clock section name. The challenge now was to build a case against Reeves. The investigators dug deep into his past, uncovering a pattern of behavior that suggested he was capable of such a brutal act. They also discovered that Reeves had been seen in the area around the time of the murder, adding weight to their theory. 2:30 new development. However, the case wasn't without its complications. Reeves had an alibi for the night of the murder, and several witnesses placed him elsewhere. The investigators had to find a way to disprove this alibi and solidify their case. 3 o'clock new development. As they delved deeper, they uncovered inconsistencies in Reeves' alibi. One witness admitted to lying under pressure, and another couldn't recall the exact details of the night. The investigators knew they were onto something. 3:30 new development. But the real surprise was yet to come. The DNA on the coffee cup wasn't just from Reeves. It also contained traces of Emily's blood. This confirmed that the cup had indeed been in her possession during the attack. 4 o'clock section name. With this new evidence, the investigators were able to build a strong case against Reeves. They presented their findings to the district attorney, who agreed to charge Reeves with the murder. The trial was set to begin, and the community held its breath. 4:30 new development. During the trial, the prosecution presented a compelling argument, backed by the DNA evidence and the inconsistencies in Reeves' alibi. The defense tried to cast doubt on the evidence, but the jury remained unconvinced. 5 o'clock new development. After deliberating for several hours, the jury returned a guilty verdict. Reeves was sentenced to life in prison, bringing closure to a case that had haunted the town for 3 decades. 5:30 new development. But the real surprise was yet to come. As the case gained national attention, other victims came forward with similar stories about Reeves. The investigators realized that they had uncovered a serial killer who had evaded justice for years. 6 o'clock section name. The climax of the case came when the investigators pieced together the full extent of Reeves' crimes. They discovered that he had committed multiple murders over the years, using similar methods to evade detection. 6:30 new development. With this new information, the investigators were able to bring justice to the families of the other victims. The community finally had closure, and the town could begin to heal. 7 o'clock section name. What we learned from this case is the power of modern forensic techniques and the importance of never giving up on cold cases. The investigators' persistence paid off, and they were able to bring a dangerous criminal to justice. 7:30 new development. If you're enjoying this, hit subscribe. We post stories like this every day, and you don't want to miss the next one. Tomorrow, the sisters' revenge 3 months later. Do not miss it. 750 subscribe, CTA. Subscribe and hit the bell. We drop new true crime content every single day. The next story is even crazier.